Brazil's World Cup squad just came out, and there's a bunch of problems with it. We can start off with the left back and right back spots. Dani Alves, Alexandro. These two players.
Dead food. Dead ballers. Dead ballers. Yo, this team is your favorites? This team is the favorites?
Yes.
No.
Listen, while I think they still will win the World Cup, Dani Alves, I don't think you should. I mean, I understand.
Dani Alves in 2022. Nah.
Dude, you're doing the most right now.
Dani Alves in 2022. This is your favorites. Yo, people actually think that Brazil's going to pull up to Qatar and win the World Cup. That's joke team. That's a joke team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between veteran players and grandpas that just don't know how to play anymore. I mean, at this point, they could have just added Marcelo just for the vibes of it all. But Dani Alves not making it. It's a bit of an interesting situation. Alexandro too. I mean, he's not having the best
best time at Juve. I mean, he's not really. He's a solid left back and been their main left back for a few seasons. It's not easy to be a main left back for a club like Juve, but I mean, he's not top quality world class left back to take to the World Cup.
I mean, and neither is Alex Telles. So
neither is he.
I think we've got a very good goalkeeping squad.
Eddie to start for sure, right?
Their center backs are very strong. Eder Militao, Thiago Silva, Bremer, who's been very solid for Juventus, Marquinhos. I mean, no one's really complaining about all that. I think everyone thinks that position's secure, but I mean, when you got the likes of Mbappe coming up against you or Leo Messi, and we've got Danilo or Dani Alves or even an Alex Telles, I mean, I'm worried about that for sure.
Yeah, it's a long day for them.
I mean, another problem I find is that, I mean, I understand like the Brazilian Federation, they need to bring in these players from Brazil, the Serie A in Brazil. For example, Everton Ribeiro, as well as Pedro, who's a striker. They both play on Flamengo, who I think they are on top of the Serie A or just won it. I mean, similar to the U.S., they have to showcase some sort of talent that are homegrown.
Yeah.
There's
no issue with that.
There is. I understand the politics behind it, but I mean, they're just removing quality that we have. For instance, Joe Wellington, I think he deserved to have a big shout for the midfield. I mean,
I agree,
if you want to talk about veterans, Coutinho, even though he might not play, he still has that culture, that Brazilian culture that, he's got experience.
Culture won't win you a World Cup.
He's got that experience of a previous World Cup, and he's Coutinho, great friends with all the squad. That Everton Ribeiro, I mean, he's never going to see the light of day in this squad.
I mean, Everton, he played quite often for Brazil in the past.
It's a different one.
It's a different Everton?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I don't know who this Donnie is then.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I understand it, but it's one of those things that I do still have a problem with at the end of the day.
I mean, who's your starting midfield in the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, Brazil called up Casemiro, Fred, Fabinho, Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta, and then Everton Ribeiro. I personally would go for Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, and it depends on the team. It's either going to be Fred or Lucas Paqueta, in my opinion.
I mean that midfield does not win you a World Cup.
I think it does. I think our midfield is very solid. I mean, it's interesting to say the least that we aren't bringing a lot of midfielders in.
Yeah.
That just means that there's going to be a lot of the same midfielders for every game. But I mean, yeah, this leads me to my last point. What I have the problem with the forwards is there's so many forwards.
So many.
There's so many new forwards, new young kids that I don't know if it's going to gel.
I think all deserve to go, though.
Listen, they all do deserve it, but I mean, they're all brand new. I don't think literally all of them have played together. Like, maybe there's one setup.
Gabi,
one
Jesus.
setup maybe that's played together. Like maybe a Neymar, Richarlison, and Gabi have played together. Yeah. But I mean, that's basically it. Vinicius Jr. is just finding his form.
Rafinha's had a good amount of time with the team. I think a good starting front three would be like a Neymar, Gabi, Jesus, Rafinha on the right. It's the front three I think that fits well together and have played together a decent amount.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw that front three against Argentina in Copa America, and I don't think they play particularly well. So I mean, it's going to be up to Chichi to turn all these youngsters into something beautiful that we saw in 2002 and past Brazilian teams. Definitely going to be an interesting World Cup year. Definitely going to be better than 2014, that's for sure. This, I guess, squad wipes the floor from the 2014 one. Um,
I mean, I think your forwards look pretty solid. I think he chose pretty much, the players he should have chose. I think you shouldn't take Firmino. He should stay home. Matias Cunha should stay home. So fair play to him. I think the midfield is your weakest point, and your as well as your fullbacks that you talked about earlier. But I mean, yeah, not my favorites. Brazil, not my favorites going into this tournament. Many people, I mean, they are the favorites. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Hopefully, in 1 week's time, Qatar 2022.
Hey, more World Cup content coming soon.
Peace.
Peace.